What's going on, everybody? Friday, April 10th, 2020. Got another install video coming at you today for the Tundra. What we have are AJT Design products that are going to go around the cup holder and around your shifter. So let's go ahead and get these installed. I'll show you how to do it. Very simple and straightforward. I went with the black pieces and blue screws. I did the same on my key fob that I made a video on the other day. I got the black key fob with the the black key fob with the blue buttons and screws on that as well. So I decided to just kind of stick with that theme. The only thing I did change on the screws, I'll show you real quick before we go ahead and jump into it. The blue that you get from AJT Designs, it's more of like a lighter blue, almost like a powdery blue. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm more of like I like royal blue, kind of a little bit darker. So what I did was I took out some Plasti Dip and hit the heads, the top of the screws with the dip and then some glossifier to give it a nice kind of, a nice shiny gloss finish to it. So, it just gave me the shade of blue that I'm looking for. So what I used was, again, just blue Plasti Dip. And they have a bunch of different shades of blue. This one is the Flex Blue, it's called. Just gives you a nice royal shade. And then I use some glossifier to give it that nice, shiny, glossy finish to them. So definitely happier with that shade on these screws. It's gonna look awesome, I think, with the interior of my Tundra. I do have some blue accents around the truck. It's just gonna look much better than that lighter powdery blue. So, all right, so the only other thing I'll show you real quick before we jump into it is the two trim pieces. They come with the hardware, the proper Allen wrench, and then of course the screws, which I already showed you. So, all right, let me jump right into it. I'll show you how to get this middle section of the truck removed. Pretty simple and straightforward. And then that'll give you access to the two trim pieces that we're going to be trading out. And I'll show you step by step on how to do that. So here we go. Let's do it. All right, guys, here you can see the carbon fiber vinyl wrap that I mentioned that I had on there for the last couple months, which I do like. Just wanted to point that out. So all we need to do is get this middle section piece out of here. So in order to do that, first thing is you unscrew your shift knob, just twist right off. Set that aside, pop open the glove box. You may or may not have this, but you got to get that out of the way. And I already have mine loose, but you can get this, you can pop this off with your finger. There's no screws or anything holding it in. Or if you have like one of these little plastic trim tools or something like that, this makes it a little bit easier to do. But if you don't have one of them, it's fine. You can get your fingers up underneath the back rim here and pop it off. And then once you get that off, just kind of work your way down towards the front and just lift it right off like this. The only thing I'll show you real quick, I don't want to tip it all the way over because I'll lose my rubber pieces in there, but the only thing holding it in there are these yellow clips that you can see down here. That's really all that's holding it in place. So, all right, that's all there is to getting this piece off. So let's take this inside the garage and I'll show you how to remove these two and get the new ones in. All right, guys, once we have this piece out of the truck and in the garage, you can go ahead and get started. So let's do the cup holder trim piece first. That's the easier of the two. So on the back of it, you're going to see these tabs. I believe there's 5 or 6 in total. That's all that's holding that piece in. So all you're going to do is push in on the tab and the piece is literally just going to fall right out. Just push in on a couple of them and it's just going to fall right out just like that. All right, so once you have the factory piece out and out of the way, just set it aside. Take the AJT cup holder piece, line it up, put it in there where it's going to go. And you want to push, little pro tip that I actually saw in another video here. You want to try to push this piece as far towards the shifter trim as possible. If you come too far towards this side, you may get a little bit of a gap in there. So again, when you line it up, make sure it's pushed all the way over towards the the shifter piece. Once you have that done, you're going to look down in here and you're going to see the slots. Actually, I should have showed you that before I lined that up. Let me show you real quick. You're going to see these 3 slots right there. 1, 2, 3. You're going to see them through the holes where we have to drill. Don't worry about it. Drill them out. You're going to run into those slots. There's no avoiding it, so don't worry about it. So again, line that up. Push it all the way towards the shifter trim. Once you have it in place, take a little Sharpie or whatever you got. Mark the center of the holes. And then you're going to want to use a 1/4 inch drill bit to drill those out. So go ahead and just take your drill, line it up, and again, you're going to run into those slots. Don't worry about it. And it might be a little tricky to drill out just because you're going to run into those slots, so just be careful doing it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for those other two pieces. We'll pick right. All right, guys, once you get the 3 holes drilled, you're going to end up with something looking like that. Again, you're gonna run into those slots, which is okay. What I ended up doing, because you're so close to them slots and you hit it, the drill wants to slide on you. So I actually used the drill more as like a file. So instead of drilling straight through, again, the drill wanted to slide. I just took it, got it in there, turned it on, and then just kind of filed away. Just do a little bit at a time because you don't want to make the hole too big. So I just did a little bit at a time, stopped, put the piece on, checked to make sure the holes were lining up, and then you know, I just did it until it you know, until it got it where I needed it. So once you have those holes drilled, all you're going to do, there's 2 pieces of VHB double-sided tape on the AJT piece, the trim piece, one here and one down there. So just peel the backing off. I already did that just to save a couple seconds on the video. And again, when you put this down, you only got, once you set it down with that tape, it's going to be in place. So you want to line it up, push it as far that way as you can, and set it down so that tape kind of catches. Just going to push down right there where that tape is for a minute, just for a couple seconds there. And then just take your screws. I'm going to do one at a time. I'll do the middle one first just to hold it in place. Push the screw down in there. Flip it over. They do give you lock washers, so put a lock washer on. Now, you don't have a whole lot of room to work back here. It's a tiny space, and not much of the screws actually come through the back, so you really don't have too much room to work with. But if you have bigger hands, it's going to be a little tight. Should be able to get it at least started on there. There we go. So get it started. 7/16 inch socket, and I have an extension on it because, again, it's a smaller space to work in. So I want to just get that socket on there, and then take the provided Allen wrench that they give you. If you did paint or plasti dip the screws, just be careful here so you don't scratch the paint or the dip. Get the wrench in there, and then you're dealing with plastic, so you don't want to go hammering this down. You just got to make it nice and snug. So there's one. And then I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process for the next 2 screws, and then I'll show you, we'll do the piece around the shifter. So I'm going to go ahead and pop those 2 in, and then I'll pick back up and I'll show you. All right, guys, there you have it. All 3 screws are in. I'm definitely glad I darkened up that blue with the plasti dip. I'll give you a look at the back just so you can see. Again, not much room to work back there, but you can get your fingers in there and then use the 7/16 inch socket there. All right, so that piece is done. Let's move on to this piece here. Now, because I already had this piece out to vinyl wrap it, I'll show you what I had to do, but I'm of course not going to have to do it again. This piece on the back, the piece around the shifter on the back, it's actually plastic welded into place. So you got to take your drill bit and drill out the plastic welds. You can't miss them. You'll see it when you look back here. You'll see where it's welded, the plastic welds. So just take your drill and drill out them plastic welds to get it free. So I'll give you a look. Again, mine's already drilled out. I'll get it as close to the camera as I can there. You'll be able to see you'll probably be able to see where I, dug those out of there. Once you even have those circle plastic welds drilled out, it's still actually attached. It's plastic welded almost around. Like, I actually had to there's a little tab right here that it's plastic welded underneath. I'm not gonna lie to you, this piece was kind of a pain in the butt to get out. You really kind of had to work at it. Again, even after drilling the circle welds out of there, it still wouldn't come out. It was actually pretty good, pretty solid in there. So, all right, but once you do all that, once you get the plastic welds drilled out and get it loose, again, there's the same type of tabs that was on the cup holder piece. So you just push those tabs in, and it'll pop out. Again, this one doesn't come out quite as easy as the cup holder piece. There we go. All right, so once we have that out of there, again, you can just set that aside. So then we're going to do the same process. We're going to take this, the AJT piece, drop it down in here, and you're going to run into pretty much the same issue where, not really an issue, but when you're lining up these holes, you're going to end up drilling, like right here, I'm probably just going to have to take the drill and slot it out again. You're not going to be able to drill straight through. This hole right here, this one right here out of the 4, that one is already, that's going to be one of those plastic weld areas that you already drill out. So there's already going to be a hole there for you. So you don't have to do anything with that one. And then I saw this in another video as well, which I kind of had to see for myself, and he was exactly right. This one actually, when you put the screw through this one, I'll show you, it's actually not going to attach to anything. So I'm not really sure. That's got to be just for, you know, just for appearance, obviously. So there's actually not going to be anything securing it on that corner there. But the other 3 spots, you will have a spot to secure it down. So this one, again, you'll put the lock washer and the nut on the back of it just to secure it in there so it looks good. But it's actually not going to hold it to anything. But I got to be honest, like, I'm not worried about it coming out, because when you slide that down into there, it's actually in there pretty good before you even do anything. Like, that ain't going to just pop out of there. So don't even worry about it. Just, you know, do what you can with it and get the 4 or the 3 other spots in there, and you should be good to go. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just to save time on the video. I'm not going to show you. Again, just line it up. Make your mark with your Sharpie or whatever you're making marks with. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, that one, actually, I should say 1, 2, 3. This one, you're not going to do anything. There's nothing to drill into right there. So line it up, drill your holes again, 1/4 inch drill bit, and then I'll get it back into place and put the screws on, and I'll show you the finished product. So that's all there is to it, guys. This piece, again, though, it is a little bit harder to get this piece out. Drilling out them plastic welds, and then even once you get them welds, you know, drilled out, it's still on there pretty good. So the factory piece, I should say. So all right, I'm going to get those holes drilled up, and we'll get the screws in, and I'll show you. There you have it, guys. All 4 screws are in the shifter trim piece. So there you go. That's what it looks like all done. I'm definitely glad I darkened up them screws. I really like that royal blue look, and with the black. I'll give you a look at the back again. This is the shifter piece, so you can see this is the one right here that doesn't, or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is. This is the one right here that does not attach to anything. It's just there for looks, I guess. But the other 3 hold it in there nice and secure. And as I showed you, it's not going to fall out before I even put the screws in there. It was in there nice and solid. So I'll give you up close look of how it looks from the underneath there when it's all done. All right, so let's go get it put back in the truck. I'm loving it. I like that carbon fiber that I had in there, but this definitely gives it a little bit more of like a rugged look to it. And it looks good. And I love that royal blue with the screws on there. So let's go get it back in the truck. All right, guys, very simple to get it back in. All you're going to do is reverse your steps. Open up the middle console area. Slide it over the shifter like that. Just kind of angle it down like so, and just wiggle until it falls into place. And then just start pushing it down until it all locks back in. All right, guys, so there we have it. That's all there is to it. The only other piece that AJT offers, here, let me get the shift knob on there while we're talking, is this little trim piece right here. That also is chrome coming from Toyota. I did not buy that piece. I'm not a huge fan of that. I actually plasti dipped my piece. I took it out of there. If anybody wants to see that, let me know. I can show you the video. Basically, it's just a couple extra steps. Like, once you do what we did and remove this area that we were working on, there's a couple extra steps that you can actually remove this piece in here and get at that, again, that chrome ring right there. The one from AJT, it's nice. It'll cover up the chrome, but it's raised and it comes really close to the edge of this trim piece. I'm just not a huge fan of that piece from AJT, but you know, it is nice. A lot of people like it, but it just wasn't for me. So I actually plasti dipped that chrome area there. So, all right, so just put your shift knob back on and we are good to go. So that's all there is to it, guys. Hopefully you liked the video. Hopefully you found it helpful. I am definitely liking that look. I'll include a picture or two. Again, I like that the carbon fiber vinyl wrap that I had, but this is definitely a better look for me. And again, I do like that darker royal blue on the screws. I said it a couple times, but definitely glad I did that. So, you know, don't be afraid to paint or plasti dip the screws if you're not 100% satisfied with the shade or the color of them. So, all right, so stay tuned. As I mentioned, we should have the rest of the pieces by early next week. I'll be doing the install on the control knobs for the climate control, the 4x4 knob, the start button knob that you can get, and then even these trim rings around the climate control knobs and this bar right here. I have all those pieces on the way. I already have these rings, but these are pretty easy actually. They just go right over the rings. I'm not going to make a video on them. They literally just double-sided tape right to the rings. So, but I will do a video on the rest of it, because that's actually where I'm going to show you how to take the entire dash of the truck apart. So not very hard, but a lot of steps to it. So, and I know I've seen a lot of questions on the forums that I'm in and everything. So I will make a video of how to take the entire dash apart to get at all of the console pieces and trims. So, all right, guys. So again, hopefully you liked it. Any questions, concerns, let me know. And that's what it looks like with the black and the darkened blue screws on it. So, as always, thanks for watching. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Liking the video does help the channel grow tremendously. So I'd appreciate it. And you know, stay tuned. We'll be pumping out another couple videos, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 days. Thanks, guys.